Hello, good morning and good afternoon. We are very pleased to welcome you for this final conference. So we are pleased to welcome all the contributors of the roadmap, and we will be presenting and discussing this content during these 3 hours. First of all, I would like to give the lead to Thierry Goubier from the French Embassy for the welcoming words.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. So, dear Caroline, Olivier, I wonder if Denis also is there. Right. Dear Iskram, because I think it's rather special mention. Dear distinguished speakers and partners, dear guests, online and in person here at Institut Français d'Indonésie, French Embassy for Indonesia, Timor-Leste, and to the ASEAN. I'm very proud of opening this session for the presentation of the extraordinary work done by all involved in the strategic roadmap, and at the same time celebrate the conclusion of the Institut Français STRAP project. This project has, under the wise leadership of Caroline and Olivier, and the support of many, brought together a community of experts and researchers to present on the view of the future of the field. I hope you will enjoy, like I will, the presentations that will be done today during the workshop. And my message is that this project should be seen as a starting point for future collaborations. A first step for those involved, I want peer subjects. That's my thing at the moment. We are opening in May. Candidacy. We're opening in May candidacies for the recently signed LPDP France doctoral scholarship, and we will be calling for subjects to be funded under that scheme. With a huge increase in the number of scholarships we'll have coming up. So, and that's all for all the messages. I will end here with all my thanks to all those involved for an effort that was multiple years in the making under the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Thierry. So we are still welcoming people, so welcome, dear attendants. So we have, this is the agenda, so we just started. I will now present quickly the project, our STRAP project, with its 2 objectives. And then we will start presenting the content of the roadmap. And Pak Kudrek from BNPB will conclude this afternoon. He apologized because he was not able to attend the beginning of the meeting. He is at the moment dealing with the operational issue somewhere in Sumatra, if I'm not wrong. So we will welcome him later. So this is a quick overview. You know this project, but I'd like to remind that we started 2 years ago actually to speak with BNPB, so the Indonesian Civil Protection Agency, and with the French Embassy here in Indonesia about the opportunity to conduct research in crisis management and resilience of population to face the climate change challenges. The idea was to coordinate the collaboration, which somehow it has been collaboration for years between France, between Indonesia, and also Vietnam, because we have Vietnamese colleagues involved in this project, and I will explain later. But we wanted to have something more coordinated. And for BNPB, the idea was to strengthen actionable knowledge, meaning being able to use what research is doing. This is why we have chosen to develop this transdisciplinary methodology and to apply it to tourist destination. Lastly, what I also would like to underline is this possibility to have this ASEAN dimension in the project, because we have tried to conduct the same survey in 2 different countries in order to compare and also to be able to merge the results and to give a more coordinated answer. So the project has 2 main objectives. The first one was to setting up a 5 years roadmap to plan transdisciplinary collaboration. And by transdisciplinary, I mean between researchers and practitioners, also between 3 countries, France, Indonesia, Vietnam, but also a multidisciplinary methodology and approach. And this, I think, we will see that we have faced the challenge, and the results are very good. So we have done 2 workshops during this year. We have also attended several meetings by teams, and finally today we are presenting this roadmap during the final conference. The second objective was to conduct a transdisciplinary pilot project on resilience tourism and crisis management and digital technology, how digital technology, information and communication technologies can support this resilience in 2 touristic areas, really important touristic areas in the 2 countries. Indonesia with Labuan Bajo, and in Vietnam in the Quang Binh province. And we will conclude this afternoon by the presentation of the 2 research we have conducted, and we will give the opportunity to our young colleagues, Zien in Vietnam and Putri and Osmar here for Indonesia, to tell us about what they have done. I also wanted to remind what were the key dates of this project, because it has been a really rich year. We started in July last year. We had a kickoff and 2 field trips in Labuan Bajo and in Quang Binh in Vietnam. In December, we faced here in Indonesia a volcano eruption in Labuan Bajo. So we decided just to go to Quang Binh in Vietnam. Then in March, so we decided just to go to Labuan Bajo to conduct the second survey. And finally, today we have the final workshop. And as you can see, each time we had this transdisciplinary workshop with our team in order to follow the construction of the roadmap. So the roadmap. I hope I haven't forgotten any logo. If so, please tell me. I will be very happy to include your logo in this roadmap. But it's very nice to see the multiculturalism through this logo. So yesterday, when I prepared the presentation, I was really happy to put all these logos on the roadmap. And sorry for this. So now we're gonna start the presentation. I will share my screen, but you know the order, and I've sent to each of the speakers the order of the presentation. These are the way they will be presented in the final roadmap. So this is also for me the opportunity to thank you again, dear contributors, dear team, for the work you have done during this month. We have somehow 100 pages of content, so we will have a very, very nice book presenting the results of this first networking. As Thierry said before, we really hope that each team will have the possibilities, the opportunity to keep working together. Equal for thesis. There will be also through Campus France, I think, some call for projects, so you will be able to answer by team. So please prepare your slide, and we will be running the afternoon. You have 10 minutes, and I will ask if someone wants to ask one question. We have a tricky agenda because there is a lot to present. So thank you again, and let's start. So I think we start with the team about building resilient island infrastructure.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you see my screen.
Yes, we see your screen.
I have to move. Okay. So thank you, Caroline. Thank you, all the team of the project who support the emergence and communication between researchers from between France and Indonesia and other countries. That is very stimulating work. And these first presentations that is about considering the evolution of resilience of an infrastructure with considering different change and in particular climate change is the result of cooperation between the University of Indonesia with Professor Lestari and her team, the Islam University for Indonesia with Professor Sawidi and his team, and a team from Paris from the Center of Risk and Crisis Management. The start of these reflections is a status that there is a strong links between tourism resilience and Iceland infrastructure resilience. And a state-of-the-art demonstrate that there is connections and strong links between investment and concrete work for increasing infrastructure ability to prevent, to respond, and to recover from natural and industrial disasters, and the tourism performance. And if an area wants to develop tourism, it's fundamental that developing infrastructure resilience in order to manage any events that could arrive. The context, the Indonesia context is quite complex due to the fact that it's a set of islands, 17,000 islands on a territory covering 5,000 kilometers. Tourism is one of the higher economical strategy of this territory. And this territory also face combinations of exposure to different hazards. 65% of road damage caused by floods. There is a planning of an increase of sea level from 52 to 150 centimeters by the end of the century. There is a huge volcanoes activity with around 127 volcanoes. And there is a concentrations of population and assets on coastal area at risk. So this issue of interlinks between tourism and the infrastructure resilience, it's a huge importance in this area. And there is also a specificity that considering resilience, infrastructure resilience in island creates some difference between traditional way to considering critical infrastructure. First, the geographical isolations, there is borders, there is limited way to manage evacuations or to manage initial storage. So the island geographical specificity create impact on the way to think about what is resilience. Moreover, there is issue with resource. There is a limitation territory, so the design and the development of infrastructure is limited by both expertise, materials, and space. Iceland have specific hazards exposure, coastal erosion, seismic activity, and all extreme weather events. And the singularity of critical infrastructure, considering that they are connected to one port, one power plant, one road, create some specific vulnerabilities. Then, when we are tourism-dependent economy, the infrastructure are important, and they must have a trade-off between tourism and natural infrastructure, and all infrastructure required to the functioning. So that's create a singularity of the resilience of infrastructure, and consequently of the way that we have to consider it. So the basement of the project we developed aim to consider not the resilience now in 2025, but to project on the next years near the end of the century, and to try to create data to product informations in order to anticipate how the evolution of island, evolution of hazard, evolution of infrastructure, and potential decision making that can occur will create different future. And related to this different future, how can we integrate this knowledge in present decision making in order to plan the development of infrastructure the most resilient as possible. And to conduct this work, we work on the methodological framework that first try to define a problem considering different infrastructure, different territory, different risk and hazards, in order to represent model something that we call absorptive capacity. It's a capacity of an infrastructure to cope and to recover from hazards. And based on these definitions, the second step aims to define prospective scenario considering different trends. The first trend is climate change, but also we have to consider political, juridical, societal, technological evolution that could have an impact on the resilience and on decision making. And based on all this knowledge, the idea is to develop algorithm simulations to identify the occurrence of different hazards, events, catastrophes, and different decision making, and with considering different context of decision making to see the evolution of the different performance of the problem addressed. And when aggregating all this scenario and all this data, the idea is to provide a decision maker insight to be able to take decisions. This first part is based on probabilistic methods, but we want also to work on rupture scenario and to exceptional or unthinking events, and to address more creativity tools or approach in order to think about unexpected or unexampled events that could occur, and that to complete the analysis. So we initiate discussions about what could be problem definition. So in the context of the roadmap, we propose a first problem definition, aiming that to consider if climate change and geological hazard-driven evolution will affect the coastal infrastructure located in the Indonesian archipelago regions, with considering an evolution of 30 years that we primarily consider as a first projections to consider, with that will create huge uncertainty on that. And then is to consider different infrastructure, water management, housing resilience, health infrastructure, the policy effectiveness, and with considering the evolution of climate risk, policy change, and socioeconomics. So the idea is to continue reflections on these topics, with the objectives of we have to discuss, but journal paper and a project in order to realize these issues. Thank you for your attention, and I will stop my sharing, and I think we can have one questions, but I hope we will have more avenue to discuss on this.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. It was really clear, and thanks for your team too. I mean, we thank you the team, because we have seen a lot of back and forth in the discussion. What the roadmap will not show is all the comments and the way the text started with different view and then merge and so on. So this is really nice. Maybe I don't know if we have one question in the chat, but I don't think. Maybe one question here. No? Okay, so no question. Yes, Eric, please.
No, just to conclude that this presentation and the paper, I think, represent 60 or 70% of all the exchange, and I will thank everyone, because it's very difficult to initiate groups and teamwork with all the issue, and I will thanks everyone to the work, and I think in the next phase we will try to integrate all the stuffs, and with great pleasure.
Maybe since we don't have any question, we can just, Prof. Sawidi or Prof. Fatma, if you want just to say one sentence.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, for me and my team in Jakarta, usually I put a number of the geohazard, because most of us are in the infrastructure for geohazard. Yeah. So I think this is okay, because we have already combined all of my thinking, our thinking, and then become one. And then Professor Eric already has presented in a good way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Professor Lestari?
Thank you very much for all the good work and the hard work for all the team. And also thank you very much, Professor Caroline, Professor Eric, for this very high level.
We lost her. Okay, thank you. So the next presentation, let me share my screen again. Here we are. It's Professor Baikini. We will present about integrating multi-hazard risk analysis into spatial planning for ecotourism destination in archipelago countries.
Thank you, Caroline, and our colleague. Good afternoon and good morning in France. Let me share the topic and the PowerPoint. Yeah, I look through. Yeah, we issue this our topic related to the integrating multi-hazard analysis into spatial planning for ecotourism destination and archipelago country, with the focus on case study of Labuan Bajo in a northern part of Indonesia, one of the prime tourism destination. My background is geography and tourism, and we have a team, Professor Guila Modelatur, Michael Pepin, Aji Pamungkas, Fatma Lestari, and Omar Saleh, and others from various institution, university, and we are happy that we can work together. Some months ago or weeks ago, we have some online discussion. Let me try to give some background or introduction. Integrating multi-hazard risk analysis is very important aspect to study in spatial planning. We need some comprehensive risk assessment system, the dynamic model, socio-economic and environmental infrastructure data integration, and advanced decision support system. It seems that in the northern, eastern and frontier region, we need comprehensive data. It is we should also dig up the data from the existing local government, and as well as we will try to use the map and also from statistical data. And we try to use that ensure the spatial design by complete awareness of multi-hazard with resulting in long-term development and disaster resilience. However, using the multi-hazard risk analysis in spatial planning at a comprehensive level involves some substantial problem. It's not easy, but we try to convince the stakeholder to data gathering and then data analyzing, and as well as the formulating the priority to get the best decision support system. It is important to study that in developing archipelago countries such as Indonesia, we need collaboration with the local stakeholder, especially many actors, tourism business and industry over there. And we have several years experience in Labuan Bajo, and some dissertation master thesis have been produced over there as basis data. The context since the establishment of Labuan Bajo, one of the super priority tourism destination. It is the national park in the frontier of island. It was 10 years ago not yet developed like now, but since the government put the priority as the tourism destination, then become many investment from overseas as well as from Indonesia, from Jakarta, from Java, and from Bali. Then this area become heavy traffic of tourism activity. But in the same time, we have a situation that there are some high risk disaster like flood or volcano eruption and other dry, long dry season will be difficulties in water supply. In some, the path of forward Labuan Bajo in constructing a local grounded, technologically enhanced and government-sensitive approach to multi-hazard risk integration. And we need policy appropriateness and the best practice or practice in the participatory way with the community engagement and capacity building with the people. It's very important. It's why we also try to create participatory planning as the tools for decision making. Positioning itself as a model sustainable development and resilient development in South Asia will be formulated based on this such kind of research result in the field and the consensus and participatory planning model in this field area. And state of the art, Labuan Bajo is now become popular destination, but also some lack of research, but as well as the data. So we have worked hard in gathering the data as well as the trying to meet some key person to develop the perspective as well as the consensus building for participatory methods, as well as use the map for idea for data analysis and data gathering, and as well as consensus building. We have proposed a roadmap for 5 years. This year, updating hazard and vulnerability capacity mapping, the develop high resolution multi-hazard map and participatory mapping. Then second years, cascading hazard modeling to see what is the priority and how the people resilience can be put in the stage for decision making. And the third years, develop a multi-hazard decision dashboard integrating a real-time data, infrastructure, social, economic, and value. And the fourth years, regarding the enhancement of guideline, revised spatial planning regulation with enforced area in the local and regional government, as well as we want to get input from the stakeholder player, especially in the tourism business and industry. And then the 5th year assess policy adoption and effectiveness to be implemented on the ground. Of course, we from the first year, we try to also dialogue with the situation in the field. It's not only on the desk, but how we learn from past, learn from the reality, and integrating with the system in the planning and development program process. With the activity, we have like this, and I think we have to finish my presentation with the year goal, method, aspect, and output. I have already explained to before. Thank you very much from the opportunity. back to Caroline. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Baikini, for this, and your team and the team of the topic for this presentation and the content. I think it's very relevant with the time frame. Is there any question? First, in the attendance online. Okay. So not online, but we have a question here. Please, if you want to come and to present yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I have to admit that I'm not a technical person on this issue. I'm looking for the DFAT Australian governments in supporting the Indonesian government in a different field, educations. But climate change is become a mandatory for any DFAT project. That's why I want to learn more from this event. Actually, my question is also connected to the first one. So I already tried to understand that the project is trying to propose something to the governments later on in terms of the risk assessment and then the effect of the climate change. My question is that from the two presentations, is there any incorporations of the lenses of inclusive lenses here? Like, how do we see the different impact of the situations against women's, poor children, poor people? I see the remoteness is already there, but is there any more detailed incorporations of the lenses so we understand different implications to different subgroup of the populations, and then it can come up into the recommendations, of course, because different subpopulations will have different capacity to be resilient on this kind of thing. So maybe that's.
So
Okay.
we have a question for the two teams actually. So please, you have the.
Yeah, I think it's very important, to break down the stakeholders, especially women, and in the eastern part of Indonesia, the role of women is very substantial, especially related to the agricultural work and domestic work as well. So when climate change happen and long transition, sometimes like women have the difficulty. I think in the participatory planning and capacity building, should consider the gender balance in terms of stakeholder. And I think, thank you for your perspective that we should take consideration about this gender balance and especially the children who have related to the gizi, the food and nutrition, and as well as the related health issue. And I think climate change have already there some issue, not only issue but at the local level, at the field level, there are some problem or challenge related to the maritime activity, fishery, and also marine transportation, as well as in the inland. Yeah, we have a network with the master and PhD student over there. Some of them are women working for what is it, tenun, knitting the menenun like that. I think livelihood of the woman is should be taken account in this process of participatory planning and decision making.
Thank you, Professor.
I think it's my response. Thank you.
Thank you. From the first topic, do you want to? I see Eric, maybe. No.
I will have no answer. Really.
Okay. Okay, so just for about inclusiveness, but I think we will keep. You will see the forthcoming topic. We have a topic about crisis communication, and what I'd like to see to underline is that in our approach, we really try to consider resilience not only in terms of vulnerability of the infrastructures, but much more about the capacity to build and foster community development. So, in my opinion, and this is, I think, what we would like to insist on, is that yes, indeed, you need to think about elderly, poor people, agriculture when you are looking at the communities, the local population. So the idea is really to look at the main population, the local population. What is the memory, the knowledge about the hazard? What can we learn from this population too, in order to integrate their knowledge and integrate also their vulnerabilities, their weakness in the answer, in order to better build this community resilience. So community resilience is more about supporting interactions on the territory between different kinds of people. I hope it will it's answered. Thank you. Okay, I forgot to put my camera on, sorry. So regarding the next presentation, I think it's with Professor, will be done by Professor Isbaron, sorry, and it will be about crisis communication indeed. So Professor Isbaron. Hello, Emma. Nice to see you. Please, you have the lead.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Allow me to present my PowerPoint here. Okay. Is it already there? Okay. So I hope you can already see my PowerPoint presentation. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and also good morning for all who happen in the front right now. Let me just introduce the PowerPoint presentation from our group. Our group is actually a combination from 3 different institutions. We came from Universitas Gadjah Mada, and also we have colleagues from Universitas Indonesia, and also Telecom One from France. Thank you, Caroline. And also Ibu Nurul cannot join us today. Ibu Ari Ratnawati is on the Zoom call, and Ibu Esi trying to connect with the Zoom call because she's currently in the field. So allow me to give you a brief example of how we are trying to focus within this research. The first thing that we have in mind is actually promoting this topic called the risk communication approach for safety tourism, is because we try to assess the current modalities that Indonesia that already have from the BNPB, from the National Disaster Agency, that all the standard operating procedure is already there. However, if we are talking about the risk information, we have to fully understand the local context, especially when we're talking about Labuan Bajo. I should agree with Professor Baikuni earlier, stating that there's a lot of research going on there right now, from the thesis, from the dissertation. Yes, it's true. We need to see the local context and how they develop the risk communication from their perspective. So using this point of view, we try to understand how the local context actually understand their risk perspective and how they can try to develop the information structure from their point of view. So the Labuan Bajo East Nusa Tenggara, as we understood, is exposing to different types of natural hazard, not to mention climate change. It's been a question earlier. And at the same time, although it exposed to different types of natural hazard, it promotes the tourism activity as an essential economic engine for the area. So from here, we learn that there's different types of vulnerable groups within the area, which is first is the local dwellers, the local vulnerability groups, and then the tourism activity that holds the tourist activities, and also tourists, which also are vulnerable to disaster. That's it, type number 2. And then those who support the tourism activity as vulnerable group number 3. So from here, we learn that the local vulnerable creates a specific downturn capital. We don't have to focus on the vulnerability, but let's try to focus on how to create this vulnerability into a resilient community by expecting the community to learn and to understand more on how they build better risk communication and also risk information for their area. So the idea of this research is actually try to promote the spatial temporal analysis for the area with a combination of how the local context influence and frame the idea of developing this risk information. I would go into detail on our risk matrix. The idea of this research is actually to understand the characteristics of the existing risk communication in the research area. Using qualitative research, we try to identify these following indicators. First is trying to understand the available risk information for the area, for the touristic activities, and then try to understand the source of the information, where it comes, how it validates or how it's being delivered, and the mechanism of the communication for the information being taking place. So this is going to be an expected result of a descriptive model PI'd by the OGM team for the first goal. From the descriptive model, we have a very nice starting point for seeing into more details on how the goal number 2 will take place. The goal number 2 is trying to examine the potential framework for developing effective communication for the risk area. It's a mix between qualitative and also quantitative research, and we try to look from these following indicators. The first one is we try to take a look on how the ancillary data on historical occurrence of the disaster. We try to identify where are the available infrastructure to disaster mitigation, such as early warning system or EWS. And then we try to identify if there's any available risk map and other possible planning document to disaster management, and also the government budget allocated for disaster management. This is where we understand that there's modalities for the information itself being in the area. And then from a different continuum, we try to understand how the local perception of the disaster, from the local understanding to disaster mitigation, local capacity to disaster reduction, and also how the social modalities to the disaster itself. We haven't decided the proportion numbers of the local people being interviewed, and then the local or the international tourists being interviewed, and how the number of the local government going to be the interviewee for this activity. But from that part, we want to try to map the type of vulnerable groups exist in the area using these following indicators that I have mentioned earlier. From here, the second matrix, we want to have an expected result of matrix on enabling environment and supporting tools for the risk information and communication. And then the other part is trying to generate a matrix on knowledge how the structure to risk communication being developed. And from these two goals, we also have an additional goals from our partner from Universitas Indonesia, who happen to have an idea of, let's try to take a look deeper on understanding the risk perception from the local dweller and tourists in the research area. the local dweller and tourist perception on disaster risk and also the practice they do to figure out the disaster risk is also an important part for us to decide which framework is actually suitable for them. So this come up as an expected result of descriptive model. From this goal, we have 3 expected results that's going to be a very nice modalities for us to understand the characteristic of the local dweller, the tourist, and also the local perspective, and see how the enabling environment being established for the area, and see where the risk is actually fit according to the local context. So the state of the art for this research is actually a transformation between a theoretical perspective. Here in Indonesia, we have already established the disaster emergency framework, which focus on the emergency situation. And then we also have the national law, which also focusing on the disaster risk reduction framework. And that has been politically established in our country. But pragmatically, we have to figure out the intertwine between disaster resilience framework. This is the one that we want to promote here in the research, that we also need to strengthen our disaster emergency. We have to focus on our disaster risk, but at the same time, we have to also figure out on how to create with disaster resilience framework for our community to strengthen their pragmatic practicalities. And then this is from the hazard, vulnerability, and risk information. And then let's see from different continuum of mitigation, adaptation, and information. In the old days, we have always worked on a classical data oriented. To come up with a risk map, for example, we have data coming from statistical, coming from institution that collects the data, and then the local people have no idea about what's going on and about the data generated into information. And then we shift into a big data oriented and collective disaster decision support system. This transition is also in the between how we combine between verified big data and participatory decision support system. Here, the second state of the art that we would like to promote is to verify the big data using the local context and how the participatory approach in the decision support system taking place in the area. For example, if we want to take an action of mitigation or adaptation without the local people or the local dweller or the vulnerable group understand how the data being collected, how the data being interpreted, and how the data being processed, they will not own the data. They will not own the information. So they're like segregated from the data or from the information. So from this point of view, we would like to have the involvement of the local people from the start, from how they collect the data, from how they understand the data, from how they come up from data to information. So they are involving from the first scratch. And from the part of the early warning system information, we want to have a citizen science approach where it's a shifting from technocratic approach to participatory approach. In the interbetween of those two approach, we have citizen science, where the community is actually those people who actually also collect the data, who actually interpret and also analyze the data. So they own the data and they understand fully about the data and the information. So this is our state of the art, and we want to moving on how the research roadmap and the risk of this risk information research. Perhaps the next slide will be very much easier for you to understand. I put an additional slide here, Caroline, if you may. This year, we will focus on developing spatial statistic and participatory model to effective risk information and communication, as I mentioned from the 3 goals I have stated earlier. And then the next part of this research in 2026-2027 will focus on how to generate science-based policy and evidence-based and bring it to the attention of the policy level and try to see, hey, this is our evidence on Labuan Bajo. Is it already fit into the national policy already? We try to discuss on the policy level. And then the next step that we would like to have is there's a start or initiative in the strategic planning on current disaster management in the area need to be evaluated. If the policymaker already put an attention, oh, okay, this part of risk communication and information is not yet there in our policy, so let's evaluate it. Let's propose a model. Let's put it in a specific SOP, for example, or wherever it comes in a strategic planning later on. And then at the very last part, we want to have a review to the existing planning in general, not necessarily in a disaster management planning policy per se, but also in a larger context. For example, if an area need more infrastructure for risk information and risk communication, what should they add? Not only from the BNPB who provide the infrastructure, but we need a larger group of decision maker to also understand the importance of this communication and also risk information importance. So this is overall idea from our team. We do hope we can contribute more on the research that taking place between France and Indonesia, especially for Labuan Bajo. If there's any question, feel free to raise, and I would be more than happy to explain. Thank you very much. Over to you, Caroline, and thank you.
Thank you very much for this work. And thank you for my name on the slide. It's true that we have been discussing since I am from communication. So, and you see in the presentation, the forthcoming presentation about Labuan Bajo and what we have started with the field trip. It's a block of one of your framework. So do we have any question online first? Okay, no question. Do we have any question here in the room? Maybe just one, and maybe I will have one, but or we will discuss after. Please come here. No, because you need to go here, because otherwise we cannot.
We not hear you.
Or we can move the.
We can also move it.
It's just a short one. I think the research also targets the policy advocacy. Just want to know whether the policy target is at the subnational level of the Labuan Bajo, or is also the target the policy one at the national level. So, and how then the small case study be used to influence the national scope.
Thank you very much for your questions, and I think it's a very important one. I think it's a very nice starting point to start with the subnational level, because the readiness of the subnational level will be an important input for the national government to understand, oh, okay, if we want to incorporate this model with this enabling environment from the subnational readiness, then we can easily implement it in the national level. So I think the example from the subnational level is an important starting point for us to start the advocacy for the policy itself. Yeah, I hope that answered you. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, to add, what we have tried to do in the project is actually to try to find a methodology that will allow us to find some way of acting, way of investigating the field in order to be able to reproduce in a different part of the country the approach. So the transdisciplinary approach is something that one of the ideas is this one. Are we able to go on the field to gather some information, to develop some design research and practical research in order to reproduce the methodology? Thank you. I think we are running out of time, so I will not ask my question. Maybe later if we have more time. Thank you again. So now we have the next presentation. Let me share my screen. Actually, I will share directly the PowerPoint of the colleague. I think we could come here if I remember well. And no, you will have it from my. Oh, okay. But so take the info.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry.
Yeah. Bring the sound to you.
I thought something I can introduce.
Can you hear?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Share your screen.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Scrum Group and EV for the chance. Thank you. Today, good afternoon from Indonesia and Vietnam side, and good morning from French side. So today, we'll try to share our discussion about digital tools for disaster preparedness, evaluating messaging versus application approaches for hazard-specific and territory-focused devices. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ansudi Raharjo, partnering with Aji Pamungkas from ITS. I'm from ITS and partnering with Inat Wang from Tuloy University, Vietnam, and Remy Bosu from European Mediterranean Seismological Center. So, okay, first of all, I would like to thank our team for the great job. It's a good job. Next, so we will start with the general problem. This Indonesia or natural hazards pose significant risk to local population and tourists. In the perspective of information technology, digital tools may help, but there are several barriers. For example, technology adoption, linguistic challenge, and other challenges. And if we focusing on IT perspective, there are several approaches. The first one is the hazard specific. Whether if you want to build a digital tools, it's multi-hazard or a specific hazard platform. The second one is the territory focus. Either you want to create a global scale, worldwide, national scale, or local. Both of them, yes, I explained the global and national, local. So covering that area. And if we go deeper from the technology stack, tech stack, there are two types mainly: the web-based or mobile-based application. And both of them, either you have a dedicated application, you install the application, you open the website specific informing the risk. The other one is messaging based. For example, there's an SMS, alert with WhatsApp alert and email. So based on this situation, based on this introduction problem, this is our question. What's the most appropriate digital technology approach for disaster preparedness? Well, as we can see, this is a large and it's quite a big question. Let us focus on this one. In the context of Labuan Bajo, in the context of area which has ecotourism approach or ecotourism principle in archipelago and in the Ring of Fire, especially natural hazards database, limited and it has limited sensors. As Indonesia is a developing country, maybe there's a limitation, and which require minimum data maintenance because it's very hard. I think it's continuing from the previous presentation, Professor, that explained there's a verified big data, but the problem is to with sustainable verified big data has a lot of maintenance and it's difficult. So according to this question, we start to explore the digital tools for disaster preparedness in the current technology ready. We split it into 3 types, which is global application, national application, and local application. Well, this is just some examples. Of course, there are a lot of others, but let me just give some examples. For example, this is from the government's government data collaboration action, and it can be accessed through web and mobile, and it's multi-hazard. The star symbol is the multi-hazard. It means that it provides a lot of several hazards. The web application, the web web icon means that it can be accessed mainly in web, although you can access it through a mobile phone, but mainly dedicated for web. And the mobile it can be accessed through the mobile phone. And the next one is the source of the data. For example, this one is community-based report. Otherwise, it's from either the IoT, Internet of Things, or from official stakeholders. So from the social media side, we have Google Crisis Response, humanitarian, Facebook Crisis Response, and also we have like from other side. For example, when there is an earthquake, last time like in Myanmar or in Bogor, maybe so you can like check yourself as I'm safe, I'm okay, etc. So it will fit the data to the Facebook crisis response, whether you submit it through Instagram or Facebook. In the national context, we have, for the global context, one of the main challenges and opportunity is that providing open data. That's why some Google Flood Hub, NASA Disaster Data Hub, and last week from EMSC, Remy Bosu team, friends create a platform to provide some information. And the national side, well, Inaris from BNPB, we have an official here, and Indonesian tsunami early warning system. I think BMKG, hopefully there is someone here also. And there is from US side, there is a check alert and FEMA mobile. This is American mobile. And in the African side, one example, Usahidi, it's community-based application for reporting. And of course, we also have BMKG. Well, Indonesian, for Indonesian, we use WhatsApp a lot for working, for personal, and BMKG also provides channeling. That's digital tools also. That's why in the local, I mentioned messaging app, whether WhatsApp or Telegram. For us in Surabaya, previously we helped BPBD, the regional BNPB, to build SIGAP. I will show the screens. So that's what we explore about what's the current technology. And from the artificial intelligence side, I will explain some examples. There are some research about predicting the earthquakes, predicting the spatial, predicting the forecasting with regression approach. And then there is a chatbot approach. This one, Clara chatbot approach also from American Red Cross, and otherwise imagery-based machine learning. So there are some approaches also. Well, actually, there are a lot of AI approaches, but a lot of them, actually, some of them still in the research area, not implemented directly. That's the challenge. And what's the challenge and strategy in risk communication from the information IT side? The first one is informing tourists. That's the important part, how we inform tourists, the language barrier, and then a lack of trust in local authorities. This is quite important. And how to, what's the strategy can be approached? So if you build an application, the tools or application are available in physical and digital places of obligatory passage. For example, in station, airport, and some public area. And second, interactive, engaging, and easy to understand information. Minimalist, no need to install. But in the other side, it has to be covering all the information and not limited to risk and should be integrated into a travel companion. Yes, that's quite challenging. And furthermore, when we add from Indonesia, well, this is my personal software developer perspective, which we have we built Sikap from Surabaya. So, yeah, and the key important part is that the first you have to provide open data or open API from stakeholders mainly because it has to be provided by IoT, etc. The second one is open source or Git-based for IT community contribution. So therefore, we can you can try to build an application, and later another one will try to help finding the problem or improving the feature. Community movement and 3-click maximum. If you create an application, the maximum page you have to click is 3-layer maximum. Multi-layer of course, and minimum data maintenance. So IoT is a good approach, but citizen reporting also is good, but you have to build it and implement message-based triggers to notify users. Maybe like if there is an error, if there is an earthquake, there is a message directly sent to the WhatsApp. It's better than the user have to open your application. Applying AI opens a lot of potential, but pay attention, it needs high computing resources. So currently, it depends, but in general, sometimes we don't really need for the user, but later it really depends. And this is the vision from Vietnam. I will cluster in because more than 10 minutes. First, enhance its disaster preparedness and resilience by developing IT-based tool and digital travel companions, user-friendly, multilingual, just like the strategies before, and integrated into digital touch point and so communication, AI personalization, which help to personalize and engage from the user. And from Indonesian side, actually, I would like to highlight the ICT roadmap disaster management in ASEAN. And Renas BB, maybe partners from BNPB have more knowledge on the evidence about this. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. So maybe
Keep the call. I don't know if you can hear me well. Is there any question online first? Oh,
maybe Remy or
Remy start.
Yeah.
Question here? No, so I don't know if Remy or Juan are online and talk about one sentence.
Sorry?
Well, I think it was a great talk, so I have nothing to add.
Okay, this was Remy.
Oh, sorry.
This was Remy? Yes. Thank you, Remy.
Thanks.
Professor Juan, I'm not sure if it's here. Thank you very much. Next presentation, I am just showing my screen because but unfortunately neither the team from Konica and Minabi present this afternoon. So there is a contribution about ability of situational awareness, artificial intelligences to adapt to changing situations and information needs in the frame of crisis management. But they cannot present. So we will immediately go to the next topic, optimizing tsunami evacuation plans through geospatial analysis and local knowledge in Lampung, Indonesia, I think by Mathieu Candela.
Hello, everyone. You
Oui, Thomas.
You hear me? It's okay?
I've merged
Yeah.
times.
That's all right, Karen.
Good.
You don't hear? It's okay for the sound? You hear me?
Yes. It's okay.
Okay. Perfect. Just find the good screen for the presentation.
C'est bon, tout le monde?
Sorry for the delay. Okay, nice. Yes, I think it's okay for me. Hello everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to share and discuss our respective projects. My name is Thomas Candela. I'm an associate researcher at the Geographic and Planning Laboratory in Montpellier. Today I'm joined by my colleagues Mathieu Piroche and Enki Mayaguez. Mathieu is also a researcher at the University of Montpellier, and Enki is representing Indonesia through the University of Lampung. We are going to present our topic concerning the optimization of tsunami evacuation plan through geospatial analysis and local knowledge in Lampung, Indonesia. I lead the talk. Mathieu, if you can present the
work we have done, yes. Because we work on evacuation planning since 2012. In our laboratory, we made some research during my PhD in the French Caribbean territories. We worked during a few years in partnership with some other colleagues from Caribbean University, and a 2 years research project. And we developed a participatory approach which integrates spatial mapping, and we integrate also local knowledge during this approach. And we covered 60 coastal municipalities in the French West Indies. And we are supported also interactive mapping platform. So we made some dynamic maps to share the results with local authorities and populations. And now we co-design evacuation plan and standard operational procedures with local stakeholders in all the basins, all the Caribbean basins. And we integrate also IOC, UNESCO, tsunami drills, regional exercise. So we replicate this methodology in the French Mediterranean Sea also, and in the Indian Ocean, in the island of Mayotte, near Madagascar. And now we work with IOC, UNESCO, instead of we contribute to the international standard Tsunami Ready, which is an international recognitions, and we add some community in the French West Indies, the municipalities, and Cannes in France, in Mediterranean France, which add this, which have now these recognitions. And during all this program, we work with some students, and we made also a partnership with Indonesia. And we had in 2023 the funding from the Ambassade of France in Indonesia, the IFI. And one of our students went to Indonesia, in Lampung, in the laboratory of Enki Mayaguez, in order to develop this approach we had developed in France, and to improve it and also to adapt it for the Indonesia context. And also in order we try also to add another participatory approach in order to integrate local knowledge. I don't know, Enki, if you want to complete what I said about your PhD in France, Enki, and also how do you work with Valentin in 2023?
Okay, thank you very much, Matthew. I want to continue a little bit. Actually, my PhD in 2012 until 2015 with collaboration with the University of Montpellier and University of La Rochelle. And last year, 2023, we have some internship student from master from University of Montpellier. So we work on the study of, we want to know, we intend to know the supporting factor of local knowledge of coastal communities consisting of various tribe and custom. You know, in Indonesia, yeah, we have several custom tribu, yeah. Yeah, in Lampung we have Sundanese, we have Balinese, we have Javanese, we have Padangnese, and also, of course, the people of Lampung itself. And we have several knowledge, we have several language, yeah. Even though we use Indonesian language, but we also use, but some people use every day is the traditional language. So by this condition, we will need to know what factors support and limit the increase of communities' awareness in area of with diverse custom on language. And by the method of which is developed by Matthew and the friends, our team in Montpellier, we will try to provide some more detail on complete evacuation map for each village. Because Matthew and my team in Montpellier have tried to develop it in several countries, different area in French area, just like Mayotte and La Réunion, I think. So by using this method, yeah, and this technique, yeah, we would like to provide the map of evacuation planning, and then we will use it, yeah. And we try to use to integrate into the tsunami ready community, just like Matthew said. And it's very important for us in Lampung because, you know, yeah, based on the research from BNPB, so there is a tsunami can reach about 30 meters of tsunami. It can reach. It's very dangerous. And when we know that France and Indonesia, we have and the common ocean, yeah, common ocean. I think in the ocean Indian, we have Indonesia in the Samudra, and also French have Mayotte, La Réunion. So we live in the common ocean. So I think it's very important for us to collaborate to improve the capacity building of the population, to improve the mapping technique. Yeah, so we can use it for to share to the population to improve the tsunami ready community. I think that's Matthew. You can continue.
Thomas, tu continues?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll introduce my my dear colleagues. We have for this topic, we have several perspectives of local method for global coastal community issue. Let me begin with the core focus of our project is the optimization of tsunami evacuation routes using realistic spatio-temporal modeling. That means going beyond the simple math. We incorporate real terrain features, actual movement speed, and the existing infrastructure networks. To support this, we rely on the exploit method developed by Leon and Perosh here. This method identify the most effective evacuation paths by classifying the different road type, streets, trails, event paths accessible to a motorbike or a bicycle, for example. It allows us to propose a road that are both adapted to each area physical constraints. It's very important in our study. But evacuation planning, it's not, it isn't just a technical approach. It's also social, like say my colleague Enki. In Kunjir, for example, sorry for my accent, we developed a tsunami evacuation plan using a participatory approach, working directly with community. The result was a locally accepted plan, visually standardized for more clarity also. It's very important. And we go further, integrating social cultural factor into our planning through ethnographic research based on thick description. We explore how people perceive risk, how they trust authorities, how community are organized. This is enable use to create material that are only functional but also cultural, meaningful. And for that, we are using symbol and format that integrate for more integration with the local population. Also, for the cultural dimension, we address additional three challenge. First, community resilience. We support the creation of a local resilience group, ensuring inclusive participation. Women and the elderly people with disabilities. This is essential for long-term preparedness. We also develop awareness material in multiple language, as recommended by the UND area and the recent research. Second, we leverage digital tools. Our team is developing a interactive and offline accessible application with ArcGIS Online. And these tools allow a user to calculate the safest route from their exact location in real time. It's our intern platform. Third, we integrate also the tourism in our project. In many high-risk coastal area, tourists represent a very vulnerable population because they don't know the local risk. Our project promotes the UNESCO IOC tsunami ready recognition, and we are exploring how to adapt this into internal hotel certification system also, because hotels are the key actors, and they are on the front line when a tsunami strike. This approach is already in motion in Thailand, for example. Such efforts followed the 2024 tsunami. Most recently, in Caen, in France, we have also a hotel signed a tsunami preparedness charter. We see a great potential for replicating this in Indonesia, especially in place of like Labuan Bajo, because this spot is a fast-growing touristic city with a high exposed population to tsunami threats. And to conclude, by combining accurate mapping and deep cultural insights, we hope to develop a sustainable and locally owned tsunami preparedness in Indonesia. Thank you for your attention. I don't know if my colleagues want to continue.
Thank you. I think we need first to ask if there are some questions or reaction. If you could unshare your screen like this, I can see the person. Please. Is there any question here? No. So we will pass to the next and last presentation. I think, Emily, so thank you again for this work. What I have not said is that these two last presentations actually are based on previous projects funded and presenting the conclusion and the possibilities of adapting to Labuan Bajo, for instance, or other tourist areas. So thank you again. So the last presentation is also in this context. Emily, maybe you hear? Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. So thank you. I let you take the lead for the presentation. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Caroline, for this time, and thank you to all speakers of the meeting today. Sorry, I try to. Yeah. Okay. Is it okay for you? Okay. Good. As you said, Caroline, our topic is about the resilience of coastal area to flooding and subsidence through the case of Semarang and an actual project between CEREMA, UNDIP, and AFD. So CEREMA is a French public institute. UNDIP, it's the University Diponegoro of Semarang, and AFD is the public French agency of development. About the project, Semarang is a coastal city on the island of Central Java. Over time, Semarang has undergone urban development linked to its status as an economic hub, the development of its port, and its position of city of local tourism. Today, Semarang is impacted by natural hazards as marine flooding, continental flooding, and subsidence. What is subsidence? Subsidence is a phenomena of ground sinking due to the consolidation of loose surface formations. In fact, in Semarang, these formations are alluvial and deltaic formations, which have been deposited gradually over the last century. As a result, these areas are undergoing a natural consolidation phase which manifests itself as a subsidence of the ground surface. Anthropic causes can be added to this natural phenomenon due to the weight of buildings on these soils and due to the extraction of groundwater. In Semarang, the measure subsidence can reach around 15 centimeters per year in some village. So due to this phenomena of subsidence, land that was above sea level yesterday is now below sea level. As a result, homes are regularly or even continuously flooded by seawater. Semarang is also regularly impacted by continental flooding. So the topography of Semarang is very steep between volcanic peaks to the south and the coastline to the north. Heavy rainfall during the rainy season down the slopes with very little infiltration into the soil. So a large quantity of water reach the plain. And the level of the plain at sea level or even below limits the drainage of this water towards the sea, causing flooding in this coastal area. The objective of our project is to increase the city's resilience to these natural hazards. There are operational objectives for the territory. There is the creation of a coastal observatory. The observatory can develop and disseminate knowledge. The observatory can be a link between stakeholders, between all stakeholders for working together. The second operational objective is the development of a strategy of risk management for the floodings and subsidence risks. There are also methodological objectives of the project. First, to adapt methods and tools to the Indonesian context. So during the project, CEREMA provide methods and tools developed in France, which need to be adapted to political, cultural, and organizational context of Indonesia. Second methodological objective is the reproducibility of the method, and some recommendations are expected for doing the same project elsewhere. First results of the project, we have organized a workshop with 30 stakeholders in January 2024. During this workshop, there were field visits. The objective of this field visit is to share different visions of the territory, to share experience and perspective for the territory. There were presentation and explanation of the different phenomena impacting the territory, so the phenomena of subsidence, the coastal erosion, and presentation of what is an observatory and what can be the objective of an observatory. And then during this workshop, there were several indoor works with focus group discussion to work together to assess the past, actual, and future action against hazard, to share a diagnostic of the territory, etc. Another result in June 2024, several meetings were organized between partners of a project and the main stakeholders for discuss of the ambition of the project, the links between stakeholders, the resilience of the territory. All these meetings need to have a better understanding of the organization of the territory and to propose adapt action in the strategy, local strategy of management of risk. Upcoming work first for the territory is to share our proposition and objective and action for the strategy with all stakeholders of the territory. We want also initiate action. We noted the need to establish a strong governance to mobilize stakeholders in this strategy and the ambition to create and to maintain the observatory of coastal risk. More broadly, in the project, recommendation for the replicability have to be established. And for the roadmap, our proposal is to continue the works of the project with implementation, progress, and results of new action and of all action carried out in the strategy to test the new methodology in a second Indonesian site, and with these two action to generalize the methods in the Indonesian context, and then to propose an adaptation of these methods in the Vietnamese context. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. Is there any question? No. Is there any question? Yes, we have a question here by Agus.
Thank you. Actually, it's quite similar, the problem in Semarang, from Semarang from Jakarta to Surabaya, which is in Semarang also. And my house also is near and will affect with subsidence, I think, in 30 years. And is it possible that the adoption, I don't know, the adoption in Semarang or in France can be adapted to other area in north part of Java? Is it possible that, I don't know, maybe there is a preliminary study or a preliminary action that is already applied in Semarang?
If this has been applied in your area, you mean?
Yeah, maybe it can be applied also in Surabaya or in north part of Java, because it's the same problem.
Okay, so you have a call for more projects, I think. Emily.
Thanks. Perfect. Yeah. The problem is the same all of the north coastline of Central Java, and is a very big problem with several solutions. In fact, for example, the solution in Jakarta is to delocalize, but it's not possible everywhere. And I think some conclusion can be reproduced. Some conclusion in Semarang can be used and applied in another seat, but it's also necessary to have a little development of the methodology to have a real understanding of all context, site context. So perfect if you want to have another development. Thanks.
And just to complete, in Vietnam we have also this issue in the Mekong Delta, and I know that we have colleagues from IAD. They could not attend today, but they are also working on this kind of issue. And I realized, I mean, when you make the first presentation, when we meet, we discussed a lot also of this question in Mekong Delta. So thank you very much again. Maybe there is your colleague from Indonesia, Ita. Ita is here. So if you want to add something, maybe Ita, I wanted to give you also the baby. One sentence, please.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Caroline, and bonjour tout le monde. Merci, Emily, pour la présentation. We so Emily has presented our proposal. So just one sentence from our side is that collaborations with Serema and Undip is a very long time, and we started around 2010, and there are a workshop held on 2010 with French partners and local stakeholders at the time, and with coming of ambassador of climate change at the time is Monsieur Lacoste. And also we have a PHAC Nusantara, Hubert Curien on 2017 on 2018 with Serema and Undip. And also we produced already a book about the resilience of Indonesian coastline to natural hazard. And it is published on 2021 and 2 versions in English and in French. So I think it's, yeah, and the stakeholders and local stakeholders and Semarang is supported our projects like National Board of Disaster Management and from Meteorology Board, for example, BBWS, Public Works, etc. So I think it is a good project, and we could apply, as Emily mentioned, and around world that we are risk with the flood and land subsidence, especially in the coastal area. Thank you, Caroline. Merci.
Thank you to both of you for your presentation and your work. Okay, we were supposed to finish this part at. So I have the French time, 10:45 or 3:45 in Indonesia, which is perfect because it's 47. So we are very good. Let me share my screen again. So this second part of the roadmap. So you had the opportunities to listen to the team. French, Indonesian, Vietnamese team working on specific topics they built together for the roadmap. But we also wanted to open the possibility for colleagues to answer through the collaboration with ICRAM we mentioned before. So this was an open call on crisis management and population resilience in Southeast Asia and the Asia Pacific areas. So the 2 first presentation now have been are part of this call for posters, and the 2 last presentation will be. We wanted to give you some ideas of the second objective. So as I said, we made it in the roadmap with as a poster. So first of all, I would like to give the lead now to Melissa Jarillo, who will be presented on behalf of also a colleague, Dr. Amélie Granja, about the real-time multilingual early warnings to protect tourists in Indonesia.
Thank you. I will be sharing my screen. So good morning, good afternoon. I'm Melissa Jarillo. I'm an intern at Edelweiss Resilience, a consulting company advising governments on early warning system implementation strategy. I'm currently working with Dr. Amélie Granja, and I'm going to introduce to you our work to enhance tourist safety in Indonesia through near real-time multilingual early warnings. First, I will be explaining a bit the context behind our work. So in 2023, more than 11.5 million tourists coming from more than 54 different nationalities came to visit Indonesia. Due to its location, the country is considered a disaster-prone area that is often struck by tsunami, volcanic eruption, floods, and earthquake. This situation can make it complicated to ensure tourist safety, as they often don't have prior knowledge on local hazards and don't understand warning disseminated in a local language or a foreign language they don't understand. Thankfully, Indonesia has a strong mobile network coverage on touristic hotspots. It's in the right spot on the map in the slide, such as Jakarta, Bali, and much more. This context led us to identify a need for a quick alert delivery that can overcome language barriers. In order to fully analyze Indonesia's current early warning system, we used the Early Warning for All framework. The Early Warning for All is a United Nations initiative that aims to protect every person on Earth through early warning system. This framework is composed of 4 different pillars that you can see on the slide. And we analyzed that pillar 1, 2, and 4 are already fairly developed in Indonesia, even if they present areas for improvement. More specifically, pillar 1, linked to disaster risk assessment, is already implemented in Indonesia through multi-hazard risk assessments, mainly led by the BNPB, the National Agency for Disaster Countermeasure, and is supported by strong legal and institutional systems. Regarding pillar 2, linked to detection, monitoring, and forecasting, Indonesia has 3 different early warning systems tailored to different natural hazards. For tsunami and earthquake with INATUs, climate-related hazard with INASUs, and meteorological-related hazard with INAMUs. Then, pillar 4, linked to preparedness to respond, is ensured through disaster-certified hotels, trained staff, and evacuation route facilities. Moreover, Indonesia has been really active in the implementation of international standards linked to landslide and even tsunami. More specifically, linked to pillar 4 on warning dissemination, Indonesia relies on local government to trigger evacuations and ensure that the alerts reach the communities at risk through various channels such as SMS, email, website, smartphone application, digital TV broadcast, and so on. More specifically, linked to pillar 3 and high kinetic events such as tsunami, we identified 3 gaps. The first one is related to infrastructure, and more specifically, tsunami alert infrastructure that face equipment failure, theft, damage, and poor maintenance. The second gap we identify is delays in the warning channel, more specifically during the 2018 earthquake and tsunami event that struck Palu City. Tsunami sirens and SMS alert system experienced both technical failures and delay in decision-making. As highlighted by the UNDOR, delays in information dissemination via SMS can have deadly consequences. Then the last gap is linked to language, and more specifically, multilingual inclusive communication for tourists. Based on the 3 gaps, we identified 3 clear needs linked to warning dissemination in Indonesia. The first one is independency from local infrastructures, near real-time alerts, and finally, multilingual alerts. In order to fill this gap, we propose the integration of the multilingual cell broadcast technology within the INATUs. This technology allows to fill the 3 gaps by being independent of new local infrastructures, allowing near real-time geolocalized alert through its compatibility with tourist roaming devices. And unlike traditional SMS, it's not subjected to network congestion. Moreover, when a cell broadcast message is received by a phone, it emits a siren-like alert tone, which is very difficult to ignore. So it acts a bit like a siren in the pocket of tourists. Then finally, multilingual cell broadcast technology allows delivery of simultaneous multilingual alerts. Based on SIM nationality and through the use of AI-powered translation, it is possible to reach tourists in their own language, a language they understand, to ensure clear and timely understanding of evacuation instructions. And on the right part of the slide, you have an example of what a cell broadcast message can look like during an emergency situation. Regarding the obstacles that the implementation of such technology can face, we identified that the Indonesian regulations currently permit the direct dissemination of alerts to the public. However, there is no clear and direct mention of cell broadcast messages. So there is a need for a more in-depth analysis of Indonesian regulation that supervise cell broadcast usage. Regarding governance, there is also a need for local government procedures to be reviewed linked to the issue of evacuation warning via cell broadcasts, especially in order to gain time. And finally, regarding funding, even if the multilanguage cell broadcast technology is cost-effective on the long term, it still needs initial investments. By joining the Early Warning for initiative, Indonesia could gain access to funding opportunities and aligning with its existing international partnership for early warning system. To conclude, we would like to give two recommendations. The first one being the integration of the cell broadcast technology to ensure timely and multilingual alerts, enhancing foreign tourists and tourist safety in Indonesia. Linked to this first recommendation, we would advise Indonesia to join the Early Warning for initiative to access funding opportunities to strengthen its disaster management capabilities. Thank you for your attention. Is there any question on our work or this presentation?
We have already one question here. So, Kiri, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think your idea is very interesting, but I would like to ask if you have an idea of the use of foreign SIM cards in Indonesia by tourists. Because one of the things you see when you arrive in Indonesia is that you should buy a local SIM, which means that probably identification of the cell phone owner language from the SIM will probably not work.
Well, thank you very much for this question. If I may, Melissa, as it's a little bit more technical, I will answer on your name. So there are several technical barriers that can be easily overcome. So indeed, one solution, an easy solution, is actually to display the message in the language of the SIM card. Another point, when you say that the people arrive and the tourists arrived in Indonesia, actually, personally, I've bought a virtual SIM that were enabling me to actually not pay that much when there, but still I had my local SIM in my phone, so it still worked. It would be displayed in my local language. The third point is that you can totally bypass this by setting up actually the display of the language based on the language of the phone, so meaning the language of the OS. And finally, even if that doesn't work, we have also other alternatives, such as contacting actually the mobile network operators. They know in which language to contact you, and we can simply request this database for knowing in which language contacting you. So you're right to say that there is no one technology that fits all. You need to compare everything and to choose the best technology. It's the most commonly adopted technology is to base the multi-language on the SIM card nationality. But if you feel that in Indonesia it's not the right approach, we have alternative ways to propose.
Thank you. Other question or reaction in the attendance, maybe? Online? No? Okay. So thanks again for this additional proposal. I was very happy to receive your contribution and comment.
Thank you very much.
I know. So then we have another additional work by Frankie Napitopoulou and Agus, actually. So Frankie is here too. Okay, I didn't know you were you were with us in the line. Maybe you should come here. Yeah, it would be easier and people can see you. Thank you. Share your. Are you online? Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
No, you need to close your.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Frankie Napitopoulou. I'm coming here with Pak Agus. So the topic of the research is this is actually work in progress. The entitled Harnessing Online Use through Spatial Temporal Mapping for Localized Disaster Awareness in Labuan Bajo. Okay, I'll start from the introductions of this research. So the region like Labuan Bajo, understanding the historical disaster events is crucial for formulating effective mitigations and preparedness strategy. And we know that electronic news archive serves as a valuable repository of information. So we're gonna extracting and analyzing the information from the online news, and then take advantage of a large language model or LLM to combining and extract the information and then mapping it into the spatial temporal mapping. Okay. The research questions will be the first: what methods can be used to gather data on past disaster mitigation and response reports? The second one is what types of natural hazards have occurred in Labuan Bajo over the past decade and what impacts have they caused? And the last one, how can disaster information be modeled using spatial and temporal techniques? So this is how it works. The first thing we do as web scraping from some online news in Indonesia, some local online news like the TIP, Mongabay, FIFA, and CNN Indonesia. The keywords that we use is the keywords for the type of disaster. You guys can see in the G equals to the keyword in Indonesia we use like bencana, angin, badai, banjir, gempa, longsor, meletus, and tsunami. And then the next keyword is the L stands for location. The locations we decide to make Labuan Bajo, Manggarai Barat, and all the sub-district in Manggarai Barat as the location. And then get the data from the periods of the January 2015 until January 2015 until to January 2025. And then we got 7,500 articles and then do some data cleaning methodology. We do the HTML cleaning or regular expression for the sense check, and we remove the duplicates of the sometimes the different online news contain the same news. So yeah, we do the duplicates. Yeah, and do the web scraping actually will cause so many dirtiness in the data. So yeah, we do the data cleansing there, and then we take advantage of LLM in this part, these disasters, to get the label. Is the online news that we get contains the disaster information or not? If it's containing the disaster information, then we will get the label like timestamp, disaster type, and the locations. After that, we will get the information about official response from the government, casualties, and infrastructure damage. And this LLM, and we use DeepSeek for the tools. And then after we got such informations, we model the information into spatial temporal using Kepler. And then what we're gonna do after this is we'll do evaluation like survey, interview, and observation. Yeah, this is the example of the scrape data, and then scrape data with the disaster keywords, angin badai, and so on, and the location keywords, Manggarai Barat, and all the sub-district in Manggarai Barat. Okay, so this is the spatial temporal. The extracted data from the online news are the published date of the online news actually, and then the sub-district, the disaster category, disaster type. Keterangan casualties is the casualties information, the deaths, injuries, displaced people, and then infrastructure damage, the description of infrastructure damage caused by the disaster. And the last one is the official response from the government. Okay, maybe I will show the spatial temporal. Since it's the spatial temporal, yeah, we have the temporal, the timestamp from the 2015 until this year, and we have also the spatials. The spatial will be this is the Manggarai Barat, and it's differentiated for each sub-district. So we will have, let's say for 2025 in Macang Pacir sub-district, there is a disaster category ocean related with disaster type tsunami. The location mentioned in the online news is Bari, Mbakung, Kantor Barat, and Gilat. The casualties information, yeah, we don't have the online news. We can derive the information of casualties in this online news. And then the infrastructure damage and the official response from the government is that BP identifies 31 villages at potential tsunami risk. Okay, I will move to the, sorry. So the conclusion that we have for now is data on past disaster response can be collected from online news through keyword-based scraping, cleaning, filtering, and spatial temporal extractions. The next one is Labuan Bajo has faced various hazards over the last decade, and LLM, which is DeepSeek, have identified 1,500 relevant reports from 75,000 articles capturing key details, key impacts, and responses. And then spatial temporal modeling can be done using low-code tools, which enable the interactive visualization of large-scale geotech datasets over time. And yeah, since this is the work in progress project, so what we're gonna do in the next phase will be we will regroup different articles published within similar timeframes that share the same disaster and location labels to ensure the consistency and avoid event duplication. And we will validate LLM results by comparing them with original data through survey, interviews, and direct observation to ensure data accuracy and alignment with real-world condition. Yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this presentation and this interesting work. I have already a reaction, and I will have myself one. So Emily said, for some hazards, such as floods, information at the sub-district level is not sufficient for hazard mapping purpose. Do you think it is possible to obtain more geographically accurate information? To both of you, actually, if you want to, I guess, I don't know. Or Frank, what do you think?
Okay. So do you expect it in a location?
Emily, if you want to ask your question or specify your question for Frank, please.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you for this presentation. I think it's really important for mapping and for cartography of hazard to have a historical event. And I have a yes, I agree with you that the fact that it's not always information about this in some case. And so my question is, do you think it's possible to have information not at the scale of sub-district, but more precise, like with a gist to have a pointing by street or like this. Yes, something more precise to have a more precise limits of flooding, for example.
Yeah. Thank you, Emily, for the question. Actually, it's possible in technical wise. What I think the method that we can do is like web scraping from Google Maps or any other maps that provide the information of the GeoJSON for specific location. So yeah, technically it's possible.
Yeah, the last I will add some. The last time we tried with village, it's more specific than the South District, but sometimes the problem with news is not reported specifically in village. Furthermore, if the news they extract like street of this street until this street, and then we can extract this information, extract the geolocation with the help of LLM and maybe like Google Map or OpenStreetMap, and then we got this more precise location, if it's possible technically.
Yeah. I agree with this. It's technical possible, but information is not in the articles.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another question or remark? We have some flooding issue here. You don't see, but we have water coming from the paving. Okay, so I just would like to thank you, and I was thinking also that this is really useful in communication methodology and approach. Most of the time when I'm teaching crisis management and methodology, empirical methodology to my students, I told them to look at the media to understand how the event is framed by the media, from the media studies approach. And I think this is a very nice tool also for students and for explaining, because you say that you look at the media and you can see this, the way the event is made the case in the population. And I think that also for crisis managers, this can be, or for local authorities or national authorities, this is also interesting. When people are not very happy, or when media, if you have, because you can see that at some point there was an issue, or there is an issue actually, and so maybe you need to address the issue. So I think it's also not only from the, it's also a very nice tool, very relevant tool in terms of communication skills perspective. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have two last presentation. As I said, this presentation actually are based on the two pilot projects we have been conducting in the frame of the STRAP project. So the first one is the pilot project in the Quang Binh province, and Zuyen from Thriller University will share a poster and present. So Zuyen, the floor is yours. You can start. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Ms. Caroline. And now I share my screen.
I think you need to speak a little bit higher because of your micro. I don't know if you hear me, but yeah, you need to put your micro a little bit closer to your mouth. Okay?
Okay, yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Duyên, and I am excited to share our poster about the resilience of local population in tourist area of Lệ Thủy district, Quảng Bình, province, Vietnam, and insight from the Chami tropical storm in 2024, and about the transdisciplinary research strategy on crisis management and population resilience projects have two main objectives, and conducting two pilot surveys in high tourism potential in Vietnam and Indonesia. And in the context, the natural disaster have increasingly and complex about in terms of scale and frequency. And in the central province of Vietnam is have suffered the damage caused by flood and storm, and Lệ Thủy district, Quảng Bình area is low-lying area and prone to flooding, and especially flood occur in 2020, and recently the flood occurred in October 2024 caused by Chami tropical storm is underscore the severity of flood risk in this area, and with the water level exists the historical record. And the pilot project is took the opportunity development the mobile application developed by Thủy Lợi University named Flood Guard Quảng Bình, and it's already used by crisis manager in this area, and in the research questions we have two research questions here. And first is, what are the dimensions of community resilience in this area? And second is how ICT and especially mobile application may support community resilience in this area. About the state of the art, and Morty and Rizadist present two concepts of resilience. One as the antonym of vulnerability, and second is focusing on the territorial system and its infrastructure. And Rizas combine four phases of crisis management circle with three dimensions of community resilience by Duffy, and puts the community development in the center of this process. Risk culture is an essential element that have to understand the community resilience in given area, and also social media is help the user can create the content and shares and communicate with other in the real times. And finally, the increasing of smartphone highlight the potential of mobile application in terms of risk and crisis management. And our objective is to get the picture of resilience in this area. So we conducted 12 exploratory interview with 4 types of actors. First is local authority, project manager, tourist guide, and local people. And we also do online ethnography of new media, official websites and social media to observe that or what type of information in the social media, and the results, we finding that actors, they combine the traditional and social media to deal with the flood and storm, and especially in case of flood in our research area, and people use traditional device, especially loudspeaker, to receive the official information, and they base on their experience from flood in 2020 to organize and deal with the flood. And what is a mobile application can fulfill is that the mobile application can enhance community resilience, but it has to face the challenge. For example, the elderly people and network disruption and the specialized apps, and for flood guard Quảng Bình application, the local authorities say that it is very useful, but it takes a long time to use to improve it. And in summary, the population of Quảng Bình shows strong resilience that they can adapt to typhoon and flood risk based on their own experience and combine the traditional and social media. And the flood guard app show the potential for private communication, but it takes a long time to improve and evaluate it. And that's all my presentation, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Zian. It was very nice. So do you have any questions in the attendance? Reaction, maybe? No, it's not. You need, yeah, it's the previous one, actually. The one was for you. No. I have no question because I know well your work. Maybe one comment because Olivier, we discussed about these fundings, and Olivier gave me a nice, made a relevant comment about the elderly, because it's true that in Vietnam, family lives together, and that indeed, even if the old person cannot use or the mobile or do not understand digital tools, since they live with family, with younger people, they are able to be reached anyway. So what's your view about this as a Vietnamese person?
For me, was older person that they rarely use the digital tool. For example, mobile application is really hard for me to access, but they can hear the official information from louder speaker, but and their member, their family member, for example, young people, they can sometimes call directly to the grandparents like this, and talk to them about what happened, and talk to them to prepare to deal with storm of flood. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so you can unshare your screen.
Yes.
Maybe you can open the chat. Oh, no, we have a question actually. It was about online ethnography. So what is online ethnography?
About the online ethnography, we observe what type of information that occur from the 7th of October to 29th of October. That is the duration of the crisis. That's the new media, official websites, and social media. They upload and share the situation in their area, like big flood or the pictures, what they have, that problem that they have to deal with. Yes.
Online ethnography means that we are going to look at for a specific time, and all institutions or specific social media from influencers that we would have identified before, or we are going to look at how they communicate about the crisis, about the event during this time. In order to, for us, it's a way to understand how the information has been spread and what type of information was available at the time of the event. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, so last presentation now. So Zien, can you unshare? Yeah, so I will just share my screen one moment. So this is the ongoing pilot project. So we will not have results to present, but we thought that it would be interesting for you to have some information about what have been done at the moment, what we have done for 1 year in Labuan Bajo. So the presentation will be done by Putri Wibawanti from BNPB and Osmar Shali from BNPB and UBM, because Osmar is also a PhD student. Osmar is sharing the screen and Putri is talking. I'm not sure this is very, very fair, but okay.
Okay, hi everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Putri and I am from BNPB. I would like to share what we are doing in Labuan Bajo previously. So, in these topics, in residence tourism, we would like to study with perspective from risk and crisis communication. And which is Labuan Bajo, in 2015, our previous president announced there's 10 priority destinations as 10 new valleys, which including Labuan Bajo. So Labuan Bajo is most top tourist destination, renowned for its marine tourism, especially. However, while this become popular destination for locals and internationals, but Labuan Bajo has lots of potential hazards, including tsunamis, floods, volcanic eruption. But not only that, it also has a very strong currents. Maybe we'll treated diverse you if you like to snorkeling or swimming there, and also the high wave that sometimes lead to ship accidents too, because according to water police there last year they recorded about 27 cases accidents of the ships in Labuan Bajo. And then for the transdisciplinary research, we have pretty much the same with the Vietnam research too, which is structuring a roadmap for BNPB and stakeholders. And the second is conducting a transdisciplinary approach to natural hazards in Indonesia. The next one, we have two big questions for the research question. First, what is the main dimension of community resilience in Labuan Bajo? So we can define and foster resilience tourism in the area. And the second is how ICT may support both community and tourism resilience. Next one is for the state of the art. Well, when we talk about tourism resilience, we talk about how they adapt or the bounce back after crisis. For example, when COVID-19, it's really affected to them because most people in Labuan Bajo really rely on tourism as their main job. So it's really effective for their livelihood. And we also want to study community resilience, which is essential for citizens in Labuan Bajo, and it's also connected with the tourism resilience. And the last one is the social media platforms and ICT. Well, most people there use social media so much, especially WhatsApp group, and we would like to study what kind of ICT they use, maybe from the local or from the government. For example, Info BMKG, which it's not just for interact to each other or daily information sharing, but it's also for rapid dissemination of alerts and informations during emergency. So it will be effective in enhancing communication and improving public awareness, coordinating between the stakeholders and the citizens for responses in critical situations. And for the method, we conducted the interview between 3rd March to 6th March, last month in Labuan Bajo. In total, we have 22 respondents, which consists 3 local authorities. It's including regional House of Representatives, transportation regional office, and harbor masters or port authority. And we interview 5 crisis managers, including BPPD. It's like a BNPB in local level, and then a water police post and local search rescues, Komodo National Park Center, and Meteorological Agency or BMKG. We also interviews the tourist institutions, such as from the hotels. We have 2 respondents from Jakarta Hotel and Sylvia Hotel. We also asked the local associations, for example, Indonesian Tourist Agency and Guide Associations or HPI, and Astindo, Indonesian Travel Agent Associations, Tour Board Associations, Associations of the Indonesian Tours and Travel Agencies. And we also asked the Destinations Management Organizations and Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture Regional Office. Then the last one, we interviewed citizens, which also local tourists and international tourists from USA and from Austria. And then after that, we will analyze this data and code, use Atlas TI software for the qualitative data analysis. we also get data from practitioner workshop, which held yesterday. We have three agenda. The first topic on tourism resilience, we would like to know how they define what is tourism, what is resilience, and tourism resilience in their perspectives. And the second is on prevention and sensibilizations. We have cyclone scenario, and we would like to know what will they do during these worst scenarios. And the last one is on topic actions during an event and life continuity, like the post disasters. What will they do after or when to build after the disasters? Which this workshop aim to simulate emergency conditions and also to look the stakeholders' quick response, because during previous workshop we only have very limited time. During that workshop, we have 9 participants, which divided with 2 groups. Okay, the last one for the preliminary results, it's still, well, I can give you the spoilers, yeah, because we're still working on the progress. We're working on it, especially in data analysis and atlas. So maybe I think that's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any question or reaction about the methodology and what has been done so far?
Or maybe suggestion.
Or suggestion, yes. No? Okay, so yes, you have the whole picture of the project with these 2 last presentations. And also, I'd like to say that it's very nice to see young colleagues working on our topics, and I would say passion or professional involvement, because we had Frankie is a student in master degree. Ziyen is an L3 student, so she's very young, and she has been challenged for 3 months by myself and a professor in Vietnam. And we have also, so Petri, you're also very young, but you're not student. Even if I think that you could maybe think about a PhD, but Osmar is a PhD student. So it's I wanted also to thank them and to them for their work in our topic, which is crisis management. Okay, so this is a nice transition actually for our last presentation, but a very important one. I'd like to give the lead to Pak Idrek from BNPB, so National Crisis Management Agency in Indonesia. I'd like also to again to thank him for his support. We have been working together for 2 years because this project and the preparation of the project started more than 1 year ago. We have been discussing, drafting several proposals, and when Thierry said, "You can make it," we were ready. So thanks, Thierry, but also thank you, Idrek, for your support during this the implementation of this survey. Please.
Thank you very much, Caroline. And yeah, I really appreciate 1 year activities that we work together, and I appreciate for the support from Thierry, also Oliver, and also all of our colleagues here. I'm sorry that I couldn't attend physically there, and we also have a very long and good discussion among some of scientists from Indonesia, French, and also from Vietnam. So in this session, I would like to share, it is maybe not so scientific, but I hope it can help us to see some of a big picture that I would like to propose with you. Some maybe is already informed also by Putri. So because something that maybe we would like to have is like a roadmap for enhancing tourism safety in Labuan Bajo, but we need to have a scientific perspective to support this such kind of regulation, planning, and etc. And it is something that why we propose the sustainable tourism, and because it is also relates to the big project or planning in Indonesia, and yeah, from the 10 of the tourist destination that now supported or proposed by Indonesian government, we choose Labuan Bajo because of this reason. Yeah, it is very appeal if everybody have ever come to Labuan Bajo. I think compared to other destination, Labuan Bajo is one of the promising, very rapid development, and a lot of tourists all over the world come to Labuan Bajo. And so we need to have developed a research-driven framework to integrate safety and sustainability into tourism. And the focus area is some, I think previously we have this kind of groups like risk assessment and communication, community engagement, technology integration, safety and security, economic sustainability, and policy alignment. Whatever what we are doing here as a BNPB, of course, we need to support the planning, development planning of Indonesia. So the economic sustainability and policy alignment is, of course, very important to support the sustainability of a tourism destination. And it is something that now has already done, and maybe one of the most important documents that we need to understand, what we call is integrated tourism master plan of Komodo National Park and Labuan Bajo. It has a very good vision, making Labuan Bajo as a safe, sustainable, and globally recognized tourism destination. And we are sure for the collaboration among countries and also with different expertise, we will make a very good design and for this challenging tourism destination. I would like to to study from this vision of safe ocean by you indicate. It is, for me, it's very interesting as a scientist and also the one who work for disaster management, because this concept is what everybody maybe would like to have. A safe ocean is not an ocean in which tsunami do not occur. It means that we understand that the hazard there, this explanation is maybe just focused in tsunamis, but the idea is almost the same. So it means that we agree that like Indonesia is a very high risk countries from the natural hazard and etc. But like in this explanation, a safe ocean is an ocean in which tsunamis are understood, observed, and their impact is accurately predicted before they reach the coast. So it is something that we would like to to have. It means that we scientifically understand about the condition, the risk understanding, because we have an observation and we know the impact as accurately predicted. And it is an ocean in which that life work and they create along its are armed with knowledge and prepared to act before a tsunami strike. So in case of Labuan Bajo, we have a lot of hazards there, and yeah, very high risk because of the activity is mostly we go by ship to the another island. Even in Labuan Bajo itself, we have a lot of kind of the potential risks in there. But it doesn't mean that, okay, we need to avoid everywhere that has a very high risk and we cannot doing something there. So the a safe ocean can be a very good vision for disaster management, that we can grow, but we need to understand about the condition of the risk. And it is something that maybe also inspire us about the word of resilience. So it is one of the idea scientific based properties of resilience sold by McGuire and Hagen in 2007. And for me, it is very interesting. One that we differentiate the resilience, like the resistant concept, recovery, and creativity. And everything here has what we call as a time frame and also the threshold. So by definition, it is one that I try to take the capacity of a system, not only person, of course, to absorb disturbance, reorganize, and retain essential function, structure, and identity. And the key dimension is threshold, as I mentioned, the maximum pressure that a system or community can withstand before irreversible change. Recovery time. So it is also talking about the speed and a depth of return to functional state. It is something that maybe like the illustration like a bamboo or spring, that if we try to bend it, it has some capability to back to the position. But sometimes with like bamboo, if we bend it more, and it has some threshold that it can not be back to the normal condition, or it can be break. So if it is break, so it means that it is a time that it can never be recovered. So it is something that maybe this picture tell us about something. But in the like a creativity state, like what I have experienced when in 2011 of the tsunami and also earthquake in Japan, I saw that how after 2 years or 3 years, Japan has a lot of the innovations learned from the experience, understand about what's wrong or what something that's still not good in their technology, understanding of risk, scientific base, and etc. And they try to catch up, try to make a very, very important innovation, because hazard can solve everything. That yeah, you are still good or not good. And after that, they even can not only backbones, but they can do something that more than before the disaster. So it is something that some of the component, maybe like human capital, social capital, physical capital, financial capital, and natural capital that we need to have to make a resilient condition. And some comparative definition resilience, I try to find also, and it has something to do with like a resistant recovery, adaptation, sustainability in common theme, and relevant to physical, social, economic, and governance system. And it is some current challenge that we try to put together, and we can see that we need the interdisciplinary background to overcome or to reach our vision. And it is something that we would like to work together, and we hope our activity can be continued in the future. And from the risk assessment perspective, maybe everybody know about this formula. Risk is the same as hazard multiplied by vulnerability and divided by capacity. It has a limitation that capturing existing condition is very important. because in our risk assessment perspective, we try to capture the real condition. And but for the growing area like Labuan Bajo for tourism, it means that we cannot focus only for people in the Labuan Bajo, because tourists come and go and we have a peak season and etc. So during the risk assessment concept, hazard is calculated, its potential impact to the island. We don't have a hazard map from the sea, and hazard map are island based. So it is something that very new and very important for us to improve our methodology and also our map. And the exposure and vulnerability is calculated based on people and infrastructure in the land, as well as capacity. We may have capacity in marine as well, actually. Marine condition information provided by BMKG and other institutions. And as Putri mentioned before, we have also a lot of accident on the sea, and also some of the what the impact may probably occur in some areas that maybe we can see this not has a capacity there, like Bukit Padar and etc. That we need to have some of the strong scientific background to build such kind of a very important strategy to make resilient in Labuan Bajo. And so additional risk is needed to be considered, not only something that we have already built in our risk assessment activities until now, because that the Labuan Bajo as a pilot project needs to consider this limitation and find a better concept for resilience tourism. It is one of the explanation. So we can see weather or a tsunami, everything. Let's say tsunami generated on the sea, but we will calculate the impact on the land. But in reality, of course, there are a lot of things that may happen on the sea and also in the remote area where the people maybe not live, but we come there to do some of activity for the tourism activity. And it is something that maybe previously I've already mentioned about the SWOT analysis, some of the conditions that we can use as a tool to understand about the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. And as one of things that maybe I think the idea is become one of the good idea is like a multi-hazard early warning system that the previous presenter also mentioned. It has like a checklist. So what kind of resilience that we can say, okay, this tourism is destination is resilient enough, another is not resilient. So we need to have such kind of index, and behind it we have such kind of checklist to understand which one is already fulfilled, which one is still not ready for Labuan Bajo. And everything we can calculate based on the result to understand the strength and the weakness of Labuan Bajo in some of the parameters. And it is something that I try to understand from the document that I get from Caroline. So it is very nice, the key insight for roadmap. And it is something that we need to feel and to design very detailed what kind of activities that we finally in 2029 have a policy review, strategic recalibration, some tools, some standard, and etc. is already finished that we can implement to build a resilient tourism destination. And it is has a good or strong alignment with Sendai framework and Build Back Better. So it is something that we need to consider, like from planning to execution, something that now like BNPB, we need to have something like that. Okay, we have a scientific background, but how we can make the scientific background is to be a planning and easy to execute, not only understood by the researcher. So who leads the implementation? It is also we need to understand about the key players. Our field level, a champion identified. For me, resilience is something that has something to do with the champion, local champion that we need to train to find, and so they can make the work for their own countries from their own sub-national or province or destination. And so the community or the ecosystem finally can work better. And community integration, of course, it is very important. Participatory elements must be scaled up. Community-based indicator of resilience recommended. And resilience as opportunity for transformation. Tourism can be a driver for green innovation and social reform, and suggest inclusion of adaptive governance metrics. Yesterday, I discussed with Pak Thierry. It's really very interesting, inspiring discussion about how the local capability of every place in Indonesia has something that very, very powerful for Indonesia, actually. So like as FDR number 3 mentioned, investing in disaster reduction for resilience. So it is actually investing. And the conclusion is resilience is not just about bouncing back. Yeah, it is about bouncing forward, requires systemic, inclusive, and data-informed strategies. Of course, it is not easy. And the recommendation is institutionalized co-production, science and community work together, prioritize risk-informed infrastructure investment, and link disaster recovery with long-term economic transformation. Resilience is the bridge within vulnerability and sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, with this last sentence, I don't know if I can. Thanks, Pak Drake. I am very happy again about your presentation. I mean, about this collaboration. Your last sentence was very nice, actually. Is there any comment or reaction maybe before we conclude? No? Okay. So I have a last slide to share. This is a slide which I hope and think will summarize quite well this year. Because everybody was telling us, oh, it's very nice. But in fact, it was also a lot of challenge. So on top here, I don't know if you see, yes. So here we were, it was in July. It was so hot and humid and we were suffering. You cannot imagine. I think we were feeling 45 degrees with the humidity, you know. And Professor Kwang was showing us the, how do you say, the repère de crue? You know, when you...
The recorded flood level.
Of flood level. And yeah, this was completely incredible. Here was in December, and we were conducting the survey, and at some point we were invited with the local authorities with this, you know, this lunch, and everybody was showing up and was discussing. So, okay. Here was in last March in Labuan Bajo with the team. And in fact, we are smiling, but what the story don't say is that some of us were a little bit sick. And so, okay, but we had also a very nice venue, like the reception 2 days ago at the residency of the French ambassador with the Ministry of Culture from Indonesia. So this was a very, very great moment. And I also wanted to share this picture that you have seen on Putri poster. But these are our colleagues from Labuan Bajo. They have accepted to fly to attend the practitioner workshop, which has been led by Olivier, who was with us for this 1 year as an expert in crisis management from civil protection. And I have put here the name of the main contributor to the project. So you have the name of the member of the steering committee, because I was always signing my mails with on behalf of the STRAT steering committee. So the steering committee is in fact Thierry Bouvier from the French embassy in Indonesia, Pak Drake and Ibu Tia from BNPB, Olivier Galichet, expert in crisis management from Sildaro, Denis Fourmeau and Marine Bruder from the French embassy in Hanoi. And then we have our colleagues conducting the field study with us, Lien, Putri, Osmar, and also Professor Kwang, who came with us the first time to introduce us to people and showing us the area in Quang Binh province. So on behalf of the steering committee and the STRAP team, I would like to thank you all, and we are looking forward for the forthcoming project based on this roadmap. Thank you very much. And so the last word will be to Thierry, because Thierry has really important information to say again.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really think this is an impactful closing for this project. Well, that's kind of, I'm starting to get into the attaché point of view. That means I'm going to use politically correct language. I'm close to ending my career here, so it's also a way to close things. But I'm really impressed by the project on scientific terms. I'm really impressed by the work done on the roadmap, 100 pages. Guys, how did you do that? And especially how much of the work was undertaken by Caroline and Olivier. I also want to put a bit of political perspective. So for the French embassy in Jakarta, we'll have President Macron visit next month, in a month's time, to be precise. And one of the things that is on target to be signed then is a cooperation agreement between BNPB and the relevant bureau in the French Ministry of Interior. So which is really something we're targeting. And for all those who contributed to the roadmap, I think we plan to offer draft book versions of the roadmap at this occasion, to be warned.
Yeah. So
but
if I was pursuing you before, I'm going to pursue you much more now.
Okay, and that means I have to write something, or the ambassador has to write something. But so that's the political. I think also some of the things that were pretty clear, and maybe it's not entirely obvious to all of around, but BNPB chose Labuan Bajo, I think, for fairly specific reason that honestly I could see happening, especially during the practitioners workshop. The involvement and motivation of local authorities and business groups. That means all the structure of Labuan Bajo into investing into making that destination better is really, really strong. And this is not something you see in all places. So I think you have to consider the results of this project and the studies also linked to how effective the governance is in Labuan Bajo and will probably improve in the future. So I think this is something to consider when you want to reproduce such results. And I think BNPB role in investing and choosing the destination is very significant in that. And I want that to be pointed out. And last, yes, we want this to continue. It has been a very nice and very effective way to build collaborations in the community on this subject, to raise what was done before, and also to build new links. And we really hope collaborations to build up on that. And of course, I want to say again, I want a PhD subject. We're opening the call next month, and we'll contact you again to get subjects. And if you have brilliant master students, where do we see? One master student. Yeah. One is already PhD. You want to do a master. You want to do a PhD. Okay. So you have candidates. They've worked. You know what they work for. On the French side, if you send us subjects, we can fund them. We jump from 2 scholarship, PhD scholarship a year to up to 50. So use that occasion. And we really want to ask the president to give us a big scholarship to go along with that. Okay, so that's my last one. And thank you very much to all. And I'm really, really pleased to be able, with all the team and the SRAP steering committee, to close the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we can. So that's the end. Thank you.
That's the end.
Bye-bye.
Very much. Bye-bye.